I want to talk about this season finale of Life After Lockup, and I'm going to talk about a few different couples in this video just because I felt like the season finale really wasn't that exciting at all. I feel like everything was predictable. Like usually there's at least like one or two storylines that we get like an update at the end of the season that just make you drop your jaw, but I feel like everything we pretty much already knew or could have guessed and could have went without. But let's go ahead and start talking about Kimberly and Joey. Kimberly posted this picture with Joey, and Joey looks high off his butt, and someone said this is really giving off Weekend at Bernie. Kudos to whoever made that caption. And what is going on with Joey's tongue? His tongue looks like a cat tongue or something. It looks like he's got bumps all over it. Some people are speculating maybe she took a picture while he was in the middle of eating. I don't know, but I want to know what that is. And now let's talk about them in the season finale. Joey is still in rehab after he relapsed on Delta 8, which I still feel like it was something likely stronger, but that's what Kim is believing and choosing to run with. And Kimberly is back at home, and she just moved into this new house, and she's trying to unpack everything and get it all set up. And she even bought herself like a new dog, and she decided to invite her, is that her cousin? I can't even remember, that girl that dated Joey. I'm pretty sure that's her cousin. Well, she invites her over, and Kimberly's like, yeah, by the way, I got the DNA results back. And she's like, oh my God, girl, you gotta open it. So she went ahead and grabbed the results, read the results, and Joey is not the father. So pretty much I just feel like they just used this whole DNA test as a storyline because they probably didn't have anything else to talk about before Joey did relapse. And I mean, thank God for Kim, because I wouldn't want Joey being the father of the kid, especially if they're getting $2,500 a month in child support. I had a hard time believing that Kimberly would risk that if she knew there was a possibility of her son being Joey's. And even Joey didn't seem that surprised when she told him on the phone when he called her from rehab. And she's like, you know, even though Joey relapsed and she's working down the time, she's amazing job. Because he babysit your kids and maybe a tentative with them in front of you doesn't mean he's a good role model, because you don't want your kids being influenced by Joey's behavior. If they're around somebody who's nodding off all the time, they're gonna think that's completely normal growing up. I think Kimberly has her blinders on when it comes to Joey. She's in love with the potential of Joey and who she knew him as in high school. And she's not being realistic about who he currently is and where he is at in his life. And even her friend said, why don't you let Joey get out and move in with his mother? And I think that's the most reasonable thing we've heard with their storyline all season. And Kimberly was making excuses like, I don't think the mom's gonna want that, I don't think Joey's gonna want to do that. Well, who gives a damn how Joey feels? Joey made things hard for himself, so he has to take responsibility. And if he really cared about Kimberly, then he would be willing to do that. And if Kimberly, I feel like, really cared about her kids' well-being, she would want to take her time too. Because just because he's been in rehab for 90 days and been sober, that's because he's been in rehab. The real test is how he's going to be when he no longer has that safety net over him. Then we get our little updates at the end of the episode that Kimberly finally finalized her divorce and Joey ended up moving back in with her right out of rehab, which doesn't surprise me at all, and they're still going strong. I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up bringing Kimberly and Joey back for another season, just because they're a pretty hot topic with Kimberly turning a blind eye to a lot of Joey's behavior. And now let's talk about Tennie and Rob. Rob had his mother over, and things quickly went south when Rob was blaming his mother for putting hands on Tennie first, when we clearly saw Tennie was the one that put her hand in the mother's face first and took it there. Like, the mom was getting pretty snappy verbally, but Tennie was the first one to get physical, and I guess Rob just didn't see it, or he's just taking Tennie's word for it, and Tennie swearing up and down that it was all the mother. So the mother got triggered from Rob saying that and saying, oh, you're really gonna take her side when she's the one who put her hands on me. And he just is trying to talk to her like she's crazy. Like, no, mama, Tennie's a little angel. She would never do anything like that. And the mom snapped, and I would have been upset too. I mean, I wouldn't have overreacted as much as the mother did, like screaming and hollering while the kids were inside the house. But I would have been pretty upset too. And I really wish the producers would have sat Rob down and shown him the actual footage and got his reaction. That's what I would have wanted to see. Like, Tennie did end up coming out with an apology saying, look, I put hands on the mom, I take accountability for that. And she ended up claiming that she doesn't remember putting hands on the mother first, but now looking back, the footage, you know, you can't deny the footage. And she's like, okay, I guess I did, and I'm sorry about that. Tennie and Rob went live the other day and claimed that they ended up reaching out to Rob's mother after the season and apologized, and they claim they have yet to hear back from the mom. And I don't know. I don't know what Tennie really did. She claims she did. I kind of feel like she probably had Rob do it on both of their behalves, because the way Tennie was still talking about the mom, she seemed really frustrated with her still, and like she does not F with that lady one bit. And then we get an update at the end of the episode, and I think with them, Rob was working, and they're working on having a child together. He's trying to talk to his mother, and that's pretty much it with them. I feel like their storyline was pretty underwhelming. It started off really strong with the whole fight with the mother, but everything after that just seemed like a total snooze fest. There wasn't really anything memorable or worth talking about every week when it came to these two. So I really hope WeTV does not bring them back. I mean, it'd be nice to get like a little update here in like a year on a Where They Now segment to see if they're pregnant with a baby yet or what's going on. But besides that, I'm good on seeing them again. And I would be interested in seeing Rob's story on that new Crime Story show that WeTV is coming out with. It's where they take certain cast members and talk about their crimes. And I know Rob did 18 years, so I bet his crime story is pretty interesting. And I plan on doing a separate video on that show and what we know so far and what cast members we know will be on it. So I will try to do that here in the next few days. I just had a really crazy week. But let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. What do you think of the season finale? What would you rate it? I think if I had to rate it, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the worst and 10 being the best, I probably would have gave it a 3. Honestly, for real. Let me know what you guys would have gave it. Maybe a 4. I don't know. Sound off in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.